everyone. Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. So we are excited that the NBA Finals starts tonight. So tonight we have NBA Finals starting tonight. So I know how much I am looking forward to that. So we're ready to get this thing started. All right, so let's start off with the NBA tonight. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We got the New York Knicks taking on the San Antonio Spurs, live from Frostbake Center in San Antonio, Texas. Tip-off begins at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. So Mike Breen, Richard Jefferson, Tim Legler, Lisa Salters will have the call all series long for the entire NBA Finals. So we're going to talk NBA Finals for 20 minutes straight. I'll talk the Knicks for 10 minutes, and I'll talk the Spurs for 10 minutes. See how it works. So now let's start with the New York Knicks. The Knicks in the playoffs. The Knicks are 12-2 so far this postseason. Not too bad. They won 10 in a row. So they come off 2 consecutive sweeps. They swept the 76ers in the second round. They swept the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks took 4 out of 6 in the first round against the Hawks. So that's how the Knicks are 12-2 in the playoffs so far. Knicks are 4 wins away from winning the title. Yeah. So here are the notable Knicks. First NBA Finals appearance of the New York Knicks: OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, let's see what other notable Knicks players. Josh Hart, his first NBA Finals appearance. Mikal Bridges, his second. So Mikal Bridges is the only player on this team has an NBA Finals experience. He was with the Phoenix Suns that he victimized his loss 4 out of 6 against the Bucks. So let's talk about. We see about the players. We'll find out who's the most important player for the Knicks in this series, other than Jalen Brunson. Well, like Josh Hart, he's going to bring out energy. Josh Hart is the most important player in this series. I think he's going to bring out energy. He's going to bring out effort. In fact, I think Hart is trying to match up with Victor Wembanyama. He wants this matchup a whole lot difficult. He wants to give him problems. Try and get his hustle. Hart has to make sure that Victor Wembanyama doesn't dominate on both ends of the floor as far as rebounding the basketball, either as defensive or offensive rebound. Those are the situations that you gotta have in these critical series like this. We just been talking about every single way. We mentioned about Josh Hart and his work, but there is nothing else you really want to see about Josh Hart's energy. I've been mentioning this for a long time, and he spent time with the Lakers, the Pelicans, now with the New York Knicks. But I'm just saying, this Knicks team can fly. As for Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, how they can show up in this series. Karl-Anthony Towns has to show up. If he shows up really well, this team will win. If Jalen Brunson plays well, his team will win. So, and OG Anunoby, there's a lot of things they can really think of about their succession. But we talk about members and all this stuff they can do. And there's no questions asked. If you like the New York Knicks, going to the NBA Finals, you got your chance. You always got your chance to beat it. So maybe the New York Knicks can really have it. Mike Brown, the head coach of the New York Knicks, he's done a great job just putting it all together. Now, he's looking for his first championship as a head coach. He's trying to get it. He's looking for his first championship ring as a head coach. So, there's a lot of things that can go for it. You had a veteran coach, Mike Brown of the New York Knicks, versus a younger coach of the Spurs, Mitch Johnson. So it's definitely going to be a sellout crowd in San Antonio. So I'm pretty sure Spike Lee is going to be at the game throughout this series to support the New York Knicks. The actor, director, producer, Spike Lee, he's a die-hard Knicks fan. He's been a Knicks fan all of his life. We've seen several celebrities went to the New York Knicks games at MSG. This place won't be rocking until June 8th. Game 3 will be June 8th in MSG. This place will be rocking. Depends on how these teams do in the first two games in this series. So we have game 1 today in San Antonio, game 2 in San Antonio on Friday. And then they'll have a couple of days off before game 3 heads to New York on Monday and Wednesday. And then game 3 on Monday. Game 4 on Wednesday in MSG. So this is what happens. We talk about it's about questioning about this team in general. Maybe the Knicks could bring these guys in, and like I said, if Knicks want to win a championship, you gotta have championship potential. And that's that. Meanwhile, for the San Antonio Spurs, Spurs come off a 7-game battle against the Thunder. They beat the Thunder in 7 games. They came back from trailing 3-2 series deficit. So the Spurs right now, Spurs in the playoffs, they also have 12 wins. They're 12-6 in the playoffs. Spurs are 12. They've been dominant in the regular season. They've been up and down in the playoffs. Spurs are 12-6 overall in the playoffs. Home playoff games. Spurs are 6-3 at home in the playoffs. Comparing to, and they're also 6-3 on the road in the playoffs. So they're actually better on the road than at home in the playoffs, even though they have the same home and away record with a 6-3, both on the road and away record in the playoffs. They're 12-6 overall in the playoffs. They've been up and down in the playoffs, just like the Thunder did last year in a championship run. Sometimes potential championship runs will go through some ups and downs in the playoffs. Like losses, like heartbreaking losses in the playoffs. Like if you can stay away from painful losses in close games, they gotta do what's best for the Spurs. Spurs are 3-4 in clutch games in this playoffs. That's the area that they need to improve during the NBA Finals. They need to be better in clutch games. The Knicks are pretty good in clutch games this postseason. In the postseason, they haven't played a lot, but they play some clutch games in the playoffs. So, the Knicks' clutch record in the playoffs. The Knicks only played 4 clutch games, just 2-2. The Knicks only played just 4 clutch games in the playoffs, just 2-2. So they haven't played a lot of clutch games in this playoffs. Most of those games they've been convincing fashions, and they're 12-0 in these situations. They're 12-0 decided by at least 11 points. They're 2-2 decided by less than 7 points. So here are the notable Spurs NBA Finals experience. So here we go. There's not that many either. So here we go. Here's the inexperienced guys. Victor Wembanyama, his first. Stephon Castle, also his first. He also won the men's national championship at UConn. So he has experience in championship games. How about Devin Vassell, first one. Keldon Johnson, first one. Dalen Harper also his first. All right, so, and De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox as well. De'Aaron Fox is first. The only two who have NBA Finals experience, Harrison Barnes has two. This is his third. He won one championship with the Warriors. It was 2014-15 season. And Luke Cornett, 2024, Boston Celtics. He won a title with them. This is his second NBA Finals appearance in his career. That's the two players who reached the NBA Finals before and won at least one title. So who is the most important player for the San Antonio's in this series, other than Victor Wembanyama? I'm gonna say De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox has to show up and show out. I know he's going through a bad ankle. He missed a couple of games in that series. In that last series, De'Aaron Fox did not shoot the ball particularly well in the Western Conference Finals, but he actually played better in Game 7 to seal to the finals. So De'Aaron Fox has got to be the most important player in this series. I like Dylan Harper as well to be the most important player in this series. De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron Fox has to go off. I would say every game. He has to go off almost every game in this series. And you don't have to rely on Victor Wembanyama that much. So De'Aaron Fox has to be De'Aaron Fox performing in a high level, if that's the case. But a lot more of that is just because he could really put themselves in a prime position here. All right, let's do a tale of tape between the Knicks and the Spurs. Except who's gonna pick the series. I'll save it for that later on. Let's go with the categories that is notable to you. Guard play, Knicks or the Spurs. I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks. I think Knicks have a better guard play. Jalen Brunson. It's a better guard play for the Knicks. Better shooter, Knicks or the Spurs. I say Spurs has a better shooter. Better 3-point shooting, Knicks or the Spurs. I gotta go with the San Antonio Spurs. Better bench. I gotta go with San Antonio Spurs as well. Better defense, San Antonio. Better star power, New York Knicks. Defensive turnovers, New York Knicks. And coaching, New York Knicks. Experience, New York Knicks. Free throw advantage, New York Knicks. So that will be that. That's the advantages. Who could make it all out from here? So that's a different story. It sure it is. In this one, so we've just been talking about all of that one. In this one here. All right, so coming up next on JDB's Morning Cap, we will recap we'll talk Myles Garrett and AJ Brown, who has a better chance to win a Super Bowl. And I'm going to talk about the Cowboys OTA'S update. I'll update the Cowboys OTA'S in this one, and also I'm going to talk about. I will talk about the Knicks and Spurs predictions. Who wins game one and who wins the series. I will break this all down. Coming up next. So, you do not want to miss it. So, I can guarantee it. In this one here. So, we're off to a good start. The NBA Finals. Yeah, you better say that. All right, we're right back. We'll be right back. Welcome back to JDB's Morning Cap. We talk about Myles Garrett acquired to the Los Angeles Rams from the Cleveland Browns, exchanged for Jerry Verts and multiple draft picks. We talk about AJ Brown traded to the Patriots, exchanged for multiple draft picks from Philadelphia. So, this is it. AJ Brown has won one Super Bowl in 2 Super Bowl appearances. Myles Garrett has never made a Super Bowl in his career. So here's my question. Who has a better chance to win the Super Bowl, AJ Brown or Myles Garrett? I'm going to go with Myles Garrett. He's looking for his first Super Bowl ring. He's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Hopefully he goes to Super Bowl for the first time of his career. Hopefully he wins for the first time of his career. So, Myles Garrett would not face his former team until 2027, which is next year. Rams will go to play the Browns in 2027 in Cleveland. And Myles Garrett will return to Cleveland to face his former team next year. Barring these two teams are in the Super Bowl bound. So if Rams and Browns don't face each other in the Super Bowl next year, then I'm sure that it's Browns-Rams in Cleveland in 2027. The Rams will face not just the Browns next year, they're facing the rest of the AFC North teams like Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. Like I said, there's a chance Myles Garrett is winning his first Super Bowl. I think that's the case right now for Myles Garrett. He's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's looking for his Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd time in his career. So there are no excuses at all. Definitely no excuses. I don't have a problem with that. So I think it's best for the other guys who can really perform at a high level. So if that's the case, then you won't change that. You won't even change that much in this one. So it doesn't bother a whole lot. So it's gonna be a build up for success. So right now it's working. It's working right now. If that's the case, they can put themselves in prime position. But but it's really helping. This is a different story because they got to see how this is going to happen. The Rams, the goal is to win 13, 14 games in the regular season. As for A.J. Brown, they can do everything they can to get to the Super Bowl. He's took two Super Bowls, and he's won one of them. It was 2024-25 season when he won his first NFL ring, Super Bowl ring, with the Eagles. And now A.J. Brown's with the Patriots. The Patriots they're facing several challenges. What is the biggest fear heading to the regular season? Maybe it's about the offensive line. Maybe it's about the protection. But I can see your way right now because of that. You don't want to go through the same issues time and time again. And that's a different story right now. And when if I would have asked that question, it would have been bad. It would have been bad to start. So it doesn't really help their cause. It could have been disaster. So A.J. Brown just need some help from these guys, and they need support from Drake May. They just need yes, they do need the support from Drake May, if that's going to be the case. So I would love to see what's going to happen at this point on. So this one here. All right, let's talk college football. I have not talked college football for months. So college football season's around 2 months away. So college football playoff schedule has revealed a few days ago. College football playoff begins December 18th, 2026. College football playoff ends January 25th, 2027. So it goes like this. First round is the campus sites. College football playoff, first round games will be on campus. And then the rest of the college football playoff will be neutral site, including New Year's Six bowls. December 18th, they'll have one game on ESPN, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then December 19th, 2026, they'll get 3 games. ESPN ABC will have the early game at noon Eastern. TNT and True TV, HBO Max will get 2 games, 3:30 Eastern and 7:30 Eastern on TNT on Saturday, December 19th. And then the next one, it's the quarterfinals. TNT, ESPN will be broadcasting on quarterfinals, New Year's Six bowls. Fervo Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Classic, Rose Bowl, and Peach Bowl. So Fervo Fiesta Bowl will be on December 30th. And then January 1st, 2027 will be the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl, and Capital One Peach Bowl. Actually, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, excuse me. And then semifinals, rest of New Year's 6, Thursday, January 14, 2027, it'll be Capital One Orange Bowl. And then Friday, January 15, 2027, it'll be All-State Sugar Bowl. And then finally, College Football National Championship game will be on January 25th, 2027. The latest in the that will be the latest in college football history. The game will be at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have semifinals on TNT and ESPN, ABC, and ESPN. National Championship game will be on ABC and ESPN for the first time in the history of college football playoff. It has never happened. Yeah, for the first time in the college football playoff era, BCS will be on ABC. It will be on ESPN. ABC has simulcast for this one, so when we talk about all this in the college football playoff, this is downright excited here in this one here. Also, we have revealed Madden 27. Our Madden 27 cover is the Chicago Bears quarterback and the former number 1 pick of this NFL draft, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is your Madden 27 cover game. You can play on Xbox, PS5. So it's good. It will not come out until August 2026. You can pre-order it, right? You can pre-order it as soon as you get there. So let's figure that out. All right, we'll have Cowboys OTA'S. We'll be right back. Welcome back to JDB's Morning Cap. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the OTA situation. So we got to get yourself ready for the NFL. All right, so we talk about George Pickens and Dak Prescott practicing OTAs and the rest of these Cowboys teams. So but George Pickens did not show up the OTAs. So here's my question. How concerned are the Cowboys with George Pickens didn't show up to OTAs? It's got to be concerned. Yeah, to me it is the Cowboys. And we talk about the Dallas Cowboys throughout those years. Where are these guys gonna when these guys gonna get along? Because last year it's been a rough training camp. Last year has been a rough training camp for the Dallas Cowboys as far as getting along with people, and they've been going through some on-field practice altercations and all that stuff. But these guys said, "You mother bleep don't even care about it." And this is a problem, and that's a damn shame because the Cowboys had no fear to go with it. Y'all been hearing about the Dallas Cowboys? That's your problem. Your problem is you've been talking about this for a long time. If that's the case, you would have liked it. Now, Dak Prescott, pressure's on him. Pressure's on Dak Prescott. And no questions asked. You could win some or you can lose some. You just got to battle it out. You have to battle. You know how critical was it? But you can't go behind it because this isn't the worst case scenario at all. So I don't have to worry about yourself. But this is going to help. This is definitely going to help your cause. We already know that. So I think the Dallas Cowboys, when it helped it out a little bit, it didn't seem to be the problem at all. Because of that, you want the OTA'S go away. If that's going to be the case. Okay, so that's enough of all that. But the Cowboys defense has got to be important. How they could win these games like that. The Cowboys defense struggled last year because they gave up a lot of big plays, either in a pass against the pass or against the run. So they got to be better in that situation. Okay, so all right, let's move on to that. Spurs and the Knicks. Predictions to win game 1 and winning the entire series and how far this series will go. So before I answer this question, I discussed about that earlier today. The Knicks and the Spurs are this is the second matchup in the NBA Finals. Spurs won against the Knicks in 5 games in 1999. Tim Duncan was part of that Spurs 1999 NBA Finals championship run with Greg Popovich. I mean, this is a cool moment for them. As for the Knicks, this is a big night. This is a big night today on the road. All right, so who am I taking game 1 today, Spurs or the Knicks? I'm going to take the New York Knicks winning game 1. I think this game is going to be close. But I like Knicks winning in 6 games against the Spurs. I think Knicks will win in 6 against San Antonio. Spurs are favored to win this series despite the fact. So I pick Knicks in 6, and I pick Knicks to win in game 1. So I think that's going to be the case here right now here. All right, let's wrap it up here. What's coming up tomorrow? I'll recap Game 1 of the NBA Finals from tonight between the Spurs and the Knicks in San Antonio. And also, I'm going to talk about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. And then the list goes on and on. So I'll do some selected segments that I want to talk about. So it's a good moment for them. All right. This is JDB's Morning Cap. See you tomorrow.